"Hey kiddo, how was school?" I asked as Dylan trudged through the door. I received no response, just a shrug as he tossed his backpack aside. His refusal to make eye contact told me that something was wrong. "Dylan, did something happen at school today?" He meekly glanced up at me, swinging his foot back and forth. "Yeah." "What was it, sweetie? You can always tell me if something is bothering you." He muttered under his breath, shifting his gaze to the ground. "I'm sorry, honey. What was that?" "I ate my teacher, Mrs. Hollingsworth. I ate her." I was momentarily stunned. What kind of confession was that? I was expecting him to tell me that he flunked a math test, or got a conduct mark. I was at a loss for words. Why did you do that?" I replied, opting to play along. This had to be some type of game. He bit his lip, and I could see tears welling in his eyes. "I forgot to write my spelling words, so Mrs. Hollingsworth gave me extra homework." I crossed my arms. "Well then, it sounds to me like Mrs. Hollingsworth had it coming. Go get a jump on today's assignments so you don't have to eat any more teachers. All right?" Dylan's face lit up like a firework on the 4th of July. "Okay, I will. Thanks for not being mad," he said, grabbing his backpack as he bolted to his room. What am I gonna do with that boy? I chuckled, turning my attention back to the evening's dinner. The next day, I had to drop Dylan off at school myself. For the first time, he'd missed the bus. I didn't mind taking him. It would give me a chance to ask Mrs. Hollingsworth if she knew anything about his odd revelation. But Mrs. Hollingsworth wasn't there. She had a substitute. I thought it was a strange coincidence, but nothing to worry about. Surely she was just sick, right? Now, I'm starting to think that's not the case. I was again in the kitchen cooking dinner when I heard the familiar slam of the front door and little feet darting down the hall. "Hey, buddy." Silence. Nothing, aside from the door to Dylan's room clicking shut. Odd, but not out of the ordinary. At least, not until supper. "Dylan, time for dinner." "Just a second." "No, food's ready now. Come get it." "I said just a second." My blood began to boil. Who the hell did he think he was? I marched up to Dylan's door and threw it open, exposing him playing a new video game. "Dylan Lane Webster, you listen..." "No, Jessica, you listen to me." My blood turned to ice. Dylan had never addressed me by my first name before. His voice was suddenly so deep and sinister. "Leave me alone, or I will consume you, mind, body, and soul. Just like I did your husband."